Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Now this is my smaller plate. This is 8 by 10 inches. And let me show you how I set up my printing bed. This is just one half of a folding table that I got from Home Depot. And I'm going to use it as my printing bed because my regular printing table is really messed up and the background is very distracting. So the first thing that I will do is set a horizon line right here. This will be a reference point. So this way you can always make sure that your image is straight. I'm going to put a center point here. Now, I'm a stickler for registration. In other words, I always want to make sure that, now this is an 8 by 10 piece of paper. I always want to make sure that when I do a print, it's centered in the middle. And if I want to do layers, the layers will always be in the same spot and they won't be moving all over the place. This is not necessarily the way you should do it, but that's just the way that I feel should be done, to have a center point and a point of reference. Because I have seen some other artists who like to move the paper, all over the printing plate. But that's a different style of work. And so I'm just going to present to you the way that I work. So here's a center line. And I will put a line down the middle here. So here's my 8 by 10 plate. It's been sitting around for a while, so it's good to put it to work again. So anyway, this is how I center the plate. Gently fold it. Okay, you're not going to hurt the plate by folding it. And I'll take my Sharpie pen and do a tick mark on the fold, like so. It's not going to show up when you print because it's on the edge, it's on the sides. And then do the same thing on the other side. Just fold it in equal parts. And make a tick mark in the middle. This will be your center line. Okay. Now, these marks have to coincide with this, right there. And this is where the reference line comes in handy. And then the same thing with the bottom line. Make it coincide with the center line in the bottom. And then this way, in case you need to clean this or wash it or do whatever, when you return it, you can always return it to the same spot. Now this is 8.5 by 11 cardstock or Bristol plate. You can buy this in any office supply store. It's I think it comes in a ream. You can buy them by like 100 sheets or 500 sheets, whichever number of pages come in a ream. And this is what I use for an 8 by 10 plate. So this is also a guide when I lay the paper. I can kind of eyeball it that it's in the middle. Okay. So now that that's done, I can start inking the plate. And let's do some prints. Okay, before I start, I'm going to do a little tip here. Now these are my cardstock papers, and I'm kind of stacking them like a deck of cards. And what I'm going to do is go to the center line and make a mark at the back. Okay. So this is the part that hits the plate, and this is the back. Now when you place your paper on the plate, you can always center it like so. That's another tip to get your paper to be in the same place each time. You don't have to do this, but this is just what makes me more comfortable. I know that I have these guide marks, so I know that the paper is landing in the same place. Because since this is a 8 by 10, I don't think it's necessary to have these registration bars, because the plate size and the paper size are almost the same. There's a very thin, I would say a quarter of an inch, not even half-inch, white border all around. So you'll see when the image is printed. So that's my little trick or tip to help you get the paper to be in the same place each time. Okay, here's the fun part. I'm going to do unbleached titanium. And since this is a smaller plate, I need a whole lot less paint. And a spot of cadmium red. So I'm going to start with the unbleached titanium. Okay, then I'm going to use my magic wand doing my usual marks. I like the little burrs on the on this aloe vera because the little burrs create these organic marks here on the plate. Line this up with that center point. Now, in some ways, working on a smaller format is not easier. Actually, it's more difficult because because of the small size, I have to be more careful about placement, and I have to scale my images and my gestures smaller. But I'll get the hang of it. Again, this is white cardstock or Bristol, which you can buy in an office supply. Pretty cool. I like that. So I'm going to put this aside and then pick up this beautiful ghost print. I'm going to use some cadmium blue-green. And some manganese blue. I think that's enough. Okay, since I'm trying to pick up a ghost print, I will leave this for 5 minutes. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is awesome. Check this out. How do you like that? I'm thrilled. I also like the very shiny finish of this. This is the Soho Artist acrylic. And it picked up almost everything. I would say 99.9% is picked up. Okay. So this gets air dried and I will recap. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are at the next segment. I decided I want to place some collage elements here just to bump things up. And I have, as usual, my leftover scraps of tissue paper. I think this will work here. And this one here. So let me start with this as my reference point. As usual, I'm using my Mod Podge matte. I have this white tissue paper, which I think will work here. Yeah, I think that takes care of this first piece. Now to move on to the second one. Here, that's it for the second piece. So I will air dry this, and the shine of the wet glue is going to disappear. I will do a recap, so don't go away. Okay, here's my favorite part of this video, where I get to show you the final product. Just for presentation purposes, I mounted this with some double stick tape, so it's easier for me to show you the close-up. So even if the scale has changed, it's a smaller scale, the detail and the texture still holds up, and it's still interesting to look at, and that was my goal. And here is the white space in the bottom. This is where I usually sign. I give the title, and then I put the number 1/1, meaning it's a unique image. And then I sign my name here, and I put the date, usually the year that it's been made. So that's the first print. And here's the second one. I like this one the best because it's a ghost print, and it has more textures and details. It's a close-up. It's almost like looking at a landscape, like an imaginary forest. I hope you liked this video. It was a lot of fun to do these two small pieces, and it's a welcome change of pace from my usual 16 by 20 gel plate. I have to admit the 16 by 20 is very expensive, and I've gotten many comments from viewers to ask me, can they make their own? Now, I hesitate to venture into that realm because I'm not very good at concocting my own stuff. I rely on something that is commercially available. And if the cost of the plate is a problem, I guess you would still have to stick to a smaller scale plate, which is more affordable, like the 8 by 10s or 5 by 7s, and practice with them until you get more confident and more proficient in the language of mark making or print making. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I am very happy because towards the end of this year, I am beginning to see a glimmer of hope to reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. And this is no small part to all you wonderful viewers. Thank you, and I hope you have a great holiday. Please check out artwhisper88.com, and I do hope to see you next time.